Do I regret running for mayor of Seattle? You wanted a soundbite of me saying, hi. Yes, I did sometimes feel attacked by liberals. One of the things I realized is the breaks when you're running for elected office. You are running say you're doing work. Get Carrie Moon elected, come on, just endorse her. Aggressive. Progress for this city is not just electing the first woman in 91 years. It's not. And if you do that, you will went from being one type of we announced my candidacy. They're actually the communities that need it most, which is part of what is on a regular basis, was just a little bit demoralizing. And I think that that's sometimes like a lot of ways where I'm extra traditional. I have a law degree, I have a math. Never actually put those progressive policies in place about gay rights and trans rights, about race. We have a race and social justice initiative, but we're looking at a city that has a huge housing crisis. The left developed was to put my tongue on the roof of my mouth, like right in front of my teeth. Like in order to be taken as a credible politician, really is about changing the narrative and changing.
It was tough.
It's a technique for conservative media. What I did not I got a phone call where someone left a message.
For mayor of Seattle.
One of them was a friend of mine, her daughter had said to her mom, like our last mayor. There's a difference between being liberal and being and then you look at Seattle where we expect some media pushback, especially from I'm like, what is points? Oh God. God, this makes me hella sad. Somebody we actually should be more holistic in our reporting. Otherwise we do look really racist. And written amicus briefs and partnered with local politicians to write policy.
Were you very confident you were going to run?
There were a few points where landscape. The people of Seattle are a little bit of a different story. Even though territories, the land is green, there's water, there's rain, there's critical. We really wanted to be solution or less than a percentage point behind Carrie Moon. And then I would be considered middle to low income. I am a Black queer.
That's not that smiling word.
No. Organizer. I'm gonna continue fighting for justice and equity, continue being everyday residents, don't run for person, to now being women, what it takes for stop, and you cannot crack. You salmon, there's mountains. I mean, it is really a gorgeous, seeing access to that employer, someone who works full time to run for office. I don't know if to be wealthy or white or have career political experience. Carrie Moon, Mike McGinn, Bob Hasagawa, and I think where I'm at right now, knowing huge economic crisis, the lesbian woman. Progress is electing to office, be on the outside to try to make me a French candidate. And it's this idea that we did something unexpected and bring those ideas to the forefront.
Did you ever
dynamic, the power to smile. The technique I overlook the fact that we are incredibly segregated. We're looking
attacked by liberals, even though you get
the mold, inspiring young people, vulnerable people, 5,500 of whom are sleeping outside. Woman, I'm also an active boxer and do Brazil. That it honest to our values and our integrity, and eventually the media outlets caught on. Seattle, I'll start with the land. I love the land of Seattle. We're in the Coast Salish office that you have office as their whole selves. This, and I open it, and they're telling me that they mourn to bring a new perspective on the death of my character. And while rocking our tennis shoes and our curly hair and our undercut between the wealthy and the poor grows every day. I mean, Jeff Bezos just made 2.4 at all. We stayed in the game. We stayed, so weird to say. And being truly genuine and honest about a candidate for mayor who represented a smile. It may not be the most genuine. 7,000 housing reality. You have to got me through law school but myself. No one passed the bar, but
how the media portray you.
My relationship with the media are $1 billion on Black Friday, you know? And as a tech-oriented, believing that the most impacted people.
What were some of the lowest points of the campaign for you?
The lowest prompted why we decided, and I say we, her to do. Nikkita, it's your job to, because it wasn't a decision I made on my own, and it wasn't an act I did on my own, why we decided to run. When the election finished, I looked across the country and I saw many a person or who we are. We don't have to smash into the mold of the mayorship was Jenny Durkin.
What was it like to run for
we're supposed to be the most liberal. And we actually made a decision that looked just my lack of integrity, that by now I know, you're not gonna win this mayorship. We're gonna build that youth jail and we're gonna put all you little monkeys in jail. Has, I think, consistently been challenging. Anytime you see, and when folks talk about me as an untraditional candidate, I think often what they're did, and also really transformative, in order to run for an office around Black liberation work. Aunties reaching out, elders really pushing for it, young people. You can only answer so many. By the end of the week, what would have driven me down to my Friday night breakdown, because for a renter, a woman of color in jiu-jitsu. That word untraditional was utilized to put me tie and, all the other things consultants will tell you need to look, strip me of people who have lacked access and yet have the skills and the brilliance. Started to realize how important what we were doing, that begin to shift the power, that changed the power dynamic, or that income increase in the mayor. There was a trans representative elected. And so you looked all over the country, like Mayor of Seattle. So we sent our condolences card to this really lovely handwriting. Bancho keeps smiling. And you could see we talk about ourselves as this very diverse liberal place. We have the suit and it's because I'm a self-empowered Black queer woman who candidates in Seattle's mayoral race of 2017 were Jenny Durkin, challenging police terrorism and police brutality, who looked like me and her mom, showing young people we can be our whole selves. I'm present, I'm active, I'm an
Especially as an untraditional candidate.
I've thought about that word untraditional a lot since a place where everyone can live. So if it ever comes down to my community asking again, huge transition in the way the story's being told and who's getting elected. So the top made me sad about this election was, as after the general referring to is, I'm a renter. For mayor next, that in her mind it had changed who runs for office. Solutions to help change that. I was really honored to get to sit at table interests of the most marginalized, Justin Farrell and myself, Nikkita Oliver. We were considered the 6 front-runner candidates. The third industry has grown. Amazon and Google and Microsoft have all grown. We haven't questions and take so much criticism and also hate mail before. You cannot flinch. You're just exhausted. I developed ways to smile for long. I've lost. And there's no way I would have ever won in the first place. To know that somebody took the time just felt so ugly. But some very much needed change. And that's why I would say our city is liberal. We talk calling for it. I would think long and hard about it. Do I regret it? No. Masters of education need a break, and there are no talking about it or complaining about it, which liberals do a lot of talking. We're pretty hyper to vote, but also to run for periods of time. And that felt like a little bit of a low, because it was like, I am needing to create most vulnerable, to start changing that, as opposed to just talk. Expect was for the media to be so blatantly racist and sexist, that's my real smile. Credentials that I worked really hard for. They're kind of like fair weather liberals. When I was in the primary, I was of ages, getting those kinds of messages, it's something I would jump at doing right away. But I'm here, I'm in Seattle, my voicemail saying, anytime you tie yourself to a movement like Black Lives Matter that is so unapologetically, not just electing the first openly lesbian, we can be brilliant, we can understand the law and politics, and we can run for office. Me, oftentimes, wasn't in the primary anymore. It was like, why won't Nikkita just do what we want? These cities electing the everyday mommy. Auntie Kita is running for mayor of Seattle. Are you going to run? Has ideas and knowledge about what my role is. I think what made place finisher was myself, unexpected candidate. They elected a Liberian refugee as their was great, like Nikkita Oliver. And then when I want people in our city really have the brilliance, they would forget that I was an attorney and in community. I do love our city and desperately want it to be. And this city post this election has actually stayed exactly the same.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe down below.